This hyperactivity or triggered activation, stress can do so many things. Hi, I'm Rupda, and I want to talk a little bit about stress. Well, I think we all know what stress is, and we all know how it feels in the body, how it disconnects us from our breathing and the state of sort of a regulated state where we feel we're calm, relaxed, and how it can also create a feeling of overwhelm, and it can almost create like a tunnel-like vision, and where we feel like, this hyperactivity or triggered activation. Stress can do so many things. Of course, the obvious is changing the sort of biological symptoms and the cortisol levels and so on. And we know that stress can cause many dysfunctions in the body in the long term, that we don't want to be in a state of fight, flight, freeze, constantly triggering that place inside of us where we never really feel like we can rest and calm down or slow down or start to feel ourselves again, or start to feel present, for example. Stress really is something that is an indicator, that is where we're pushing ourselves over on overdrive or on overwhelm, or something has happened to us that was outside of our control, where we felt we didn't have a choice. Stress comes in many different places from the outside, or it can be mental overanalyzing, overthinking, where we start to create that stress. We could have been in a sort of a sleeping position where we're about to go to sleep, and then all of a sudden you get one thought, and then the activation happens, and then we feel stress again. So I'm addressing these many different things because we want to bring awareness to stress. We want to know what it feels like symptomatically. Of course, some people it's obvious. The shortness of breath and the tension in the body and the contraction and the cold hands, or this hyper-focus, hyper-vigilance, and perceived threat, feeling unsafe. It's good that you start to get a sense of what stress looks like, even steps before, when you can start to feel the symptoms in your body. This is when you start to recognize those symptoms, and if you're already there and you're like, oh my God, I'm already in the overwhelm and the panic attacks or anxieties and so on, it's good to start looking at what was happening before and see if you can see a timeline of how you got to that point. Because the more and more you can understand that edge of where you slip into the stress triggers, where we go into fight, flight, freeze, and the sympathetic nervous system is an activation, the better you will understand how you got there and catch it before it gets too much, too soon, and too fast for your nervous system. So how do we start to go from that de-stressed place, or let's say dysregulated place, to become de-stressed and start to regulate again? One of the hardest places to do it is when you're at the pinnacle of the stress, because it's when you're maybe having panic attacks or hard time breathing or anxiety or fearful mind is going on overdrive. And yet we do need to find ways to step out of it. Otherwise it feels like a vortex, a kind of falling in, and falling gets worse and worse and worse. And for some people it can go on all day. So one of the things we can start to do immediately is, because stress is such a symptomatic experience, that is happening in your body, is that we meet it through the body. Meaning, when we're holding the stress, we also need to be able to find ways to release it so that we can regulate. And I'm a therapist who works with trauma, and I work somatically with people, especially in overwhelm and stress, and help them go from dysregulated to regulated. And things you can already start doing when you're in stress is using the body as a tool to exit that stress. And it might take time, of course, because you had a build-up together, so it's also time to release. What I recommend people to do is something you can already start doing in your home or work environment if you feel safe to do so, which is the moment you do feel at that place of stress where you feel like you can't do your usual breath work or guided meditation, which maybe helped you to come out of it, and you're really in the kind of crux of it, the thick of it, is that you, wherever you may be, if you're driving, obviously you cannot do this, but if you're at home or in a work environment where you can take space away from people, is that you get up and you stand up and you do at least 10 jumps in one place. So now you're jumping up and down in one place at least 10 times. I do it for a minute solid. That pounding already gets blood circulating, and it helps me get in my body. That's really important. I actually wake up in the morning and often do that as part of my morning routine now because it's so effective. And then once you do that and then you land on 2 feet, you start to shake. And the shaking is really important because it starts to loosen up the constriction and the contraction that stress starts to create in you, and the overwhelm and the panic attacks and the shortness of breath. And when you start to release, and you start to do some of that stress release, you notice what happens. You're moving all your body. You're moving all these parts where you feel tension and tightness. And that is really important because remember, stress is held in the body and it's released through the body. Thinking your way through can go, as many of you know, you're overthinkers, it just goes on and on and on. If you can actually step away from the overthinking mind simply by coming into your body and starting with those jumps and then doing a good shake, even if you can do a shake only for 3 minutes, I recommend 5. By that 1 minute of jumping and 5 minutes of shaking, and I mean really good shaking, where you're shaking your whole hips, your arms, and you're loosening your jaws, because we often have tension here too when we go into overthinking and stress starts to build up. By doing that for 5 minutes, you already start to feel the difference. If you just stand still for a moment after that vigorous kind of movement, you'll start to notice that, oh my God, I can breathe again. You can take a deeper breath. Oh my God. And then you kind of look around the room. Wow, I can kind of orientate back here. I'm present again. Wow, I'm in my body again. Oh wow, something calmed down, something cooled down or slowed down. And I feel myself and oh wow, this is amazing. And there's a little bit of an expansion, from that contracted place. The body's really amazing at supporting you into de-stressing because it's where it's held, right? So we really do need to use the body. And talking only your way through it's going to take a lot longer, and some people it doesn't even help, or it takes forever. So the body will help you, and the body is a wonderful tool. So if you're able to do those steps, you'll already start to see a difference in how you deal with stress and how to de-stress yourself. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment below if you had a chance to do this, because I love it. I love working through the body somatically. It has such an intelligence. So I'm curious in how it is for you. And if you liked this video, please share it. And maybe we also see you again. Thanks for watching.